Cool. All right, we'll go ahead and get started. Give people a couple minutes to get on in here. They can still join throughout as we go along, but we'll go ahead and get started now. Let me share my screen and I will go through the presentation with you all. All right, awesome. There we go. Should be able to pop up for everybody. So again, welcome. Thank you guys for coming. I appreciate you all being here as we get kind of into the season. We still got a little bit to go until the actual season starts, but I appreciate all you guys hopping on here, kind of getting in early so you even potentially yourself can spread the word if you know anybody, any high school teammates, this or that, people you know. You kind of give them information on this. This will also be posted to the website, basically pretty much as soon as we're done, or at least Monday, whenever I can. And we'll talk about something else later with that. But yeah, everything will be recorded, so we'll have a YouTube link out, hopefully Monday or Tuesday. You guys can send out or just come back in case I talk fast or miss anything. I'll give you guys a warning right now. I do talk fast. So if I don't touch on anything enough, or if you have any questions, or if I kind of accidentally skip past something too quickly, don't be afraid to ask a question in the chat. I already typed something there, but basically, at the very end, I'll go in the chat, answer anybody's questions, try and touch on them one by one, even if I already kind of might have answered it already in the presentation. Just touch on it, give a solid answer either way. So we'll get started. Again, welcome. My name is Brendan Jump. I'm our developmental programs manager. I run our VYVL, BYDL, our outdoor program, our 4v4, and I am a travel coach. I don't run that, but I coach our 16 boys team, 16 travel for boys. Email right there. Again, if you guys have any other questions you might not want to ask in the chat or just kind of personally, even anything outside of VYVL or BYDL, anything about any of my other programs, anything at all, really. Don't be afraid to reach out to me at all. Anything for travel. Again, this is just a VYVL info meeting. They're very closely related programs, but they're definitely not like the same programs or different levels. So if you have anything specifically for travel, I would reach out to Chris Wakefield. He can help you out with that. So, what is VYVL? It stands for Virginia Youth Volleyball League. We also have BYDL. It's a boys version. We're not going to be talking about that much now. We have another meeting for that. If you guys also have any athletes or know anybody interested in the boys version of this league, essentially, which is BYDL, Boys Youth Development League. But it is our developmental programs, which are mainly focused on two things. VYVL is focused on introducing athletes aged 12 to 16 to the world of travel volleyball. We have 13 U teams, so 12 and 13-year-olds can play on it, but basically that age of players. We have a 16s team, but we do not have anybody older than 16s. And so unfortunately, actually in the past, we were able to get maybe a 17-year-old on the 16s team. However, this season and last season, starting basically due to other memberships, we have to get 4 tournaments and stuff. It has to be age specific. So 16U and 13U are the teams we have for basically age-wise. So we'll have 2 13s teams, 2 14s teams, and then 1 15s and 1 16. So 4 teams total. And we'll talk about the way that gets split off later to where it's not just a very specific group of kids playing. So it encompasses a large amount of athletes. And so again, introduce those players to the world of travel volleyball without fully committing to the expenses, the weekly schedule, the monthly schedule, everything. So cost-effective alternative is the idea, and it's great for multi-sport athletes. This is a 1 to 2 time a week commitment, and the weekend is the second one. So anything past Monday nights, you guys are free to do. Another sport, we have a lot of players who do basketball, soccer, random other stuff throughout the year. And that's kind of a great point for this program too, is you're able to still train, still kind of get into the world of travel volleyball while still not, again, fully committing yet. And if you're not 100% ready for it. And even if you are feel like you're ready for it, again, it's there as an option. If you don't feel like traveling, you don't feel like this or that, it's a great option for those athletes who are maybe not ready to commit as much. Now, a big comparison, like I said, there are similar programs, pretty closely related, but they're definitely different programs. So VYVL, in the past, it's been looked at as essentially a 5th travel team, but it's even past that. So it's really its own thing with its own purpose at this point in time. And again, in a couple of years, it may have changed. This is my 3rd season, going into my 3rd season, basically doing VYVL. So I've really worked hard to transform it into a really valuable thing for the price that you can pay for the value you get for our program versus just another travel team, basically. Travel's a great program as well. Don't get me wrong on that. Like I said, I coach it. I love travel myself, but VYVL definitely work hard to make it a specific developmental program. So again, the comparison, 17-week season, December through April. There's through May, basically just an extra month, a couple more weeks. Simple enough, except they train 2 times per week, guaranteed, with some additional skills clinics. We just practice 1 time a week, guaranteed, and some Sundays we will have practices. I believe it is 8, maybe 9 practices, could be even 10. It's been changing a tiny bit, but all the dates now are solidified on our website. I'll have a QR code in about 2 or 3 slides where you guys can go and check out the website, everything. Or if you just want to follow along with me, you can go there now. It's rvc.net/VYVL, and the tournament schedule and everything is already posted there, but we'll get to that in a second too. So we have, again, they had 2 week we do 1 time to 2 times a week. A little bit different on that. But the bigger difference is 7 to 10 tournaments for regional. And they have 4 to 5 local. And when I say local, I mean mostly Richmond, maybe an hour Hampton drive, something like that. And three to five tournaments within 2.5 hours, Rocky Mount, Baltimore, places like that. They go to a lot more of those. However, VYVL, we have 2 tournaments, 2 local 1 day. So 2 tournaments will be at Bird Hill at this location. 2 days will be in Virginia Beach. So Virginia Beach is kind of be the travel aspect that we get, the fun, the experiment, sorry, no, the experience of big travel tournaments. That's what they're going to get down traveling to Virginia Beach, which is an hour 40, 2 hour drive, depending on where you guys are going and come from. 1275 for the season, flat rate. This one, travel for regional team, adjust a little bit depending on if they have, I believe, if that first number or the second number is that if they have 10 players, that first number is if they have 12 players. But ours, regardless how many players end up on the team, it is going to be 1275 for you guys. It includes a lot of the same stuff, except they get a bigger uniform package where they get the same 2 jerseys, well, not same 2 jerseys. They get 2 jerseys, but they also get spandex and a backpack. We get similar stuff, so we get 2 jerseys, a practice tee, and a backpack. We, however, do not get the spandex. So spandex, if you guys end up on the team, and we'll talk about all this stuff as we get a lot closer to the season, basically in the preseason email if you make a team about the specifics about uniforms, this and that. But covers all the stuff. You will not need to get an AAU membership. You won't need to buy jerseys, won't need to buy anything else outside of it. So 1275 will cover you guys for everything you need, except if you guys decide to get a hotel at a tournament or whatever travel fees associated with that. We don't cover that, but as far as coach's salary, gym time, everything else, all covered within us. So no additional purchases as far as from RBC. Season structure, they will again, VYVL teams will practice Monday nights and some Sundays. Again, all the things are listed on the website. If you want to check out this QR code right now, scan it with your phone. Should take you to the VYVL website. You can just scroll down a little bit to get to the calendar section. And so again, we practice Monday nights, either 5:15 to 7 or 7:15 to 9, depending on the team. It hasn't been fully organized yet, but like I said, in that preseason email you guys will get, which we'll touch on in a second, it'll include all the information you need, all the practice times, but we can tell you to leave one of those two, but every Sunday will be 4:15 to 6 p.m. Not every Sunday practice. It's not every Sunday, but the Sundays listed will be 4:15 to 6. Again, the season runs November 30th, which is that first Sunday, through April 4th, which is that last tournament. And the last tournament is on a Friday and Saturday this year, which is unusual, but it's to avoid Easter Sunday. So we can close it off, let you guys get a full Easter Sunday to yourself, and then kind of cap off the season with that last tournament in Virginia Beach. The Spring Fling is what's called. It's a lot of fun. But this year it'll be Friday, Saturday. So even before the season starts, I wanted to put that on you guys' radar. There'll be a lot of reminders throughout the season because, again, that is a very unusual format for Friday, Saturday, but I like the way they're doing it. I think it'll turn out pretty well. You guys scan that QR code if you have not. You can follow along with me. Website has some other information you might use as well. So again, we really focus on player development here. It's not so much about traveling, competing at the highest level, going for championships, going for wins. Those are great, and those usually come alongside with the aspect of development that we really focus on. And so our teams, our coaches are something I'm very proud of, especially this year. Seems to just get better and better each year. So our coaches are very, very highly experienced, and a lot of our coaches basically coach for our program the same reason a lot of our athletes do as well, is they don't fully want to commit to coaching 2 times a week and every other weekend, and you got to fly to Louisville or this or that. It's a whole thing. So a lot of our coaches are just maybe a little bit older guys with tons of experiences who still coach high school, but again, just don't want to commit to doing all that. So lots of knowledge, but they only want to coach once or twice a week, which is perfect for both parties, all parties involved, really. So it's a win-win. And that's, again, really what I think is a benefit of the program as well. It's not just the lowest level of something you can do. It's a whole different thing with a whole different group and purpose of coaches. I think we really emphasize player development for 13s and 14s team. I don't even allow coaches for the 13s team to like tell a player their position. They're going to learn every skill every time. In a game tournament, obviously they will have positions. However, there won't be a tall 13-year-old that just walks in the gym and instantly they're a middle. I can't stand when that happens. That's a big pet peeve I have of mine, even on the travel level. I think all players should definitely develop at every position. There should be tall setters. Everybody should learn how to do every skill. That's a big, big thing I've implemented in the program that I believe has helped out a lot with, just as I said, the development aspect of it. And Sundays will be a lot more focused on individual skill versus kind of team ball. But like I said, both of them are really going to be focused on overall development. Like I said, 13s and 14s, really, really doubling down on that. 15s and 16s, again, it's still a huge aspect of the program. But by that point, usually there will be players, they'll have an idea of what position they are. who's a setter, who's a libero. They'll have a lot better of an idea of that. However, everybody will still learn every position. It will still teach the liberos how to block. We'll still teach the middles how to pass. So it won't be any player that just shows up as a middle and leaves as a slightly better middle. Everybody's going to get developed as a player, which is something I'm proud of. Again, Sundays are a lot more focused on individual skill. At some point in the season, about halfway, we start doing a lot closer skills clinic. So we have certain players come in maybe 30, 40 minutes early and they work on just setting, for example, or just middles come in and they work on just middle stuff. A lot of different examples of that, but that'll be about halfway through the season. But for the most part, again, it's 1 to 2 times a week, regular practice, but again, not a full commit. It's not every Sunday, so you can't say a true 2 times a week, but that is the goal to kind of get that aspect of training in there. So the unique part about VYVL, I would say compared to any other program we have at all, is teams of 16 to 18 players. And those are big teams. However, for tournaments, we divide them into 2 different teams. So we register the one big team has 2 teams for tournament. So one coach goes with one team, one coach goes with the other, and each team has 8 to 9 players, depending on how many teams the big team has. So you guys will split off, it'll ensure playing time, and basically during tryout process, we pick players for especially for the 15s and 16s to make sure we have an idea of what positions players can play and to get them the max amount of play time for each basically lineup. There's no, this is the good team, this is the less good team. We just split them off evenly. It probably changes week to week, or sorry, tournament to tournament. However, it may stay the same, but we want to ensure that there is no top team and bottom team in this program. We split them off very, very evenly. Costs, the important part. What does the program cost? Again, it is $12.75 flat, including that, not including that $75 tryout fee. So tryouts again are a separate thing. You can also try out for travel. That basically encompasses all tryouts you might attend. So you can, if you pay that $75 tryout fee and you want to try out for travel, you can absolutely do that, try out. And if travel goes your way, great. You guys can do that, have a great time. If not, you guys can come back to the VYVL tryout. That's basically the way it has been set up this year, where players who, if they just miss out on travel team, or still want to try and come back for a VYVL option, they will come back to the VYVL tryout, which will be basically the last tryout of the year before the season starts. So I would recommend if you guys are interested in or not sure if you fully want to commit VYVL or maybe travel, I would just register and go to travel tryouts for your age group. Like I said, if that works out, great. You guys will have the decision. But if not, VYVL will be here, but you would still have to try out for that. So in the past, it has been, I believe, sign up and play basically, or very, very loose tryouts. However, this year, all VYVL players will be trying out together. And we'll talk about that more in a second. But let's talk more about the cost, kind of get off track. So again, it includes the membership, all the admin fees, the AAU membership, which is required for tournaments for coaches and athletes, the uniform package, which will be 2 jerseys, a practice tee, and a backpack. Again, we do not provide spandex, so that will be on you guys to do. To wear spandex, you can wear regular like athletic shorts, those like legging pants. I've seen athletes do it all. It's very, very loose rules, but whatever feels comfortable, whatever you play best in is what I recommend. Includes the practice fees, all the coach pay for practices, tournaments, travel, all their hotel expenses, everything like that. So like I said, that $12.75 covers everything you need except whatever you guys decide to do on your own. If you want to get a hotel, if you want to go, obviously we don't cover transportation for you guys, meals, everything else, that's all on you guys, but everything volleyball-wise, everything RVC-wise, we do cover. And the way that works is, we'll talk about this more in a second, but tryouts, if you make a team, you will be sent an offer letter, and the first payment of $700 is due when you are accepting that offer letter, accepting the spot on the team. That you can do and pay. You can pay in full if you'd like. If you want to pay all $12.75 up front, that's absolutely an option. But we usually do just a $700 deposit. You can, like I said, you can pay if you'd like, $700 deposit, and then the second payment of the rest of the money will come out December 15th. This date is from last year. I'm pretty sure it's the same this year, but it may be off 1 or 2 days. But that will be the timing. It'll be about a couple weeks later after the first payment. Now, the tryout process, again, is a little bit different this year. It's been changing year to year. This is probably the one if it goes well, we will hope to go with every year. Definitely expecting it to go well, expecting the numbers to be great. So players wanting to play VYVL or BYDL, like I said, our boys version, will need to attend a PTO. I think we call them uniform days this year. That may be a little outdated verbiage. However, basically, you come, you don't have to stay the whole time. So we'll talk about the PTOs more in a second. I have the times listed for those ones and the locations. I think it's listed for like a 3-hour block, but it takes maybe 10 minutes. I've seen a player go 15 minutes max, and that's because they decided to talk to some coaches, this and that. 15, 20 minutes, absolute max. But basically, you come in, try on uniforms, and make sure all your financial stuff is set for tryouts. Basically, like it used to be all PTO, a pre-tryout orientation, where we just kind of talk through the process, try out on uniforms. Like I said, we're calling it uniform day now to kind of further the idea that players have to try on uniforms. Or if you already know your size, if you played last year, didn't grow, didn't this or that, it come with your sizes already. It makes our life a lot easier and yours. But players will need to attend a uniform day, tryout orientation, whatever we want to call it, and attend the proper tryout. So the 14s, 15s, and the 16s players will have their own VYVL tryout. The groups will still be split, so 14s will still be trying with 14s, 15s, and 16s differently. But they will be at Stonebridge at different times. Again, 14s will be here, the 15s and 16s will try out together at the same time. However, there will still be different tryouts. We will have a 15s team and a 16s team. So they'll still try out at the same time, but different teams. The 13U, however, you'll notice is combined with travel tryouts. Just being so young, they have a 12 and it's also 13U for them. Well, they have a 13s team, but ours is just 13U. So we'll have two 13U teams comprised mainly of 13-year-olds. However, there's a 12-year-old that just misses out on a travel team, and we think they're good enough to make the team. We will likely take them on the team. Again, we want to really focus on developing for that. And again, the whole point of the program we have is just to get the overall talent pool of athletes better, which is never a negative thing. So again, those are combined with tryouts, just such a young age group. Skill level hasn't really split off too far yet to where the travel top level is that different than VYVL. So those will be combined. And again, the dates, times are listed on the website, also right here. I will let you guys go through and do that for whichever one is most prevalent to you. After tryouts. So if your athlete's selected, you'll receive an offer letter like I mentioned. This will likely be the Sunday night following tryouts. If not, it will be early Monday morning. Pretty much as soon as we can get teams sorted, you guys will get something from me. As soon as I have an idea of these are the 16 to 18 players that made the team, you guys will know as well. So we'll send an email out regarding practice times, team placement, other relevant information, likely the coaches, and like I said, we'll probably have the practice times by then, everything you'll need. We'll also post a list of numbers. So when you guys sign up for tryouts, your athlete will get a t-shirt, get a tryout number. That number will correlate if you make the team to a list of numbers we will post on the website, basically of all the teams who made different teams. It'll be listed. If for our 14s team, for example, we'll have a 14 red and a 14 blue team. And so it'll say 14 red and then maybe 382 N. And N will stand for Navy. It does not stand for national. It does not stand for whatever. If it says 39R, it stands for 39. And they have a red shirt, it does not stand for regional. We get that question a lot for tryouts, which understandably so. But again, with the letter is literally just the color, and the tryout number is the main thing that correlates to them. Now, once the offer letter is sent out, you will have 24 hours from the time it's sent out to accept the spot. Obviously, if you guys reach out, call, whatever, tell us you need an extra day or two, we will be happy to work with you. However, due to the timing, due to the tryout basically being about a week or two before the season starts, we don't have a lot of time to kind of give. So you need an additional time, make sure you let us know, because if it is not, you do not pay the deposit, do not accept the spot in time, your spot will be offered to an alternate we select during tryouts. So during tryouts, again, we select those 16 to 18 athletes that make the team. And then we select 2 to 3, maybe even 4 players right after that that kind of just missed out on the cut. That in case one of the players that did make the team can't play, don't want to, they can have an alternate for the spot. So there will be alternate lists, which will also be posted. However, alternates will not receive an email. They will just be posted to the website. Alternates will only receive an email if they end up being selected for the team, if a player who makes the team decides to turn it down, basically. So parent involvement and communication, most important information will be communicated by me. Again, any tryout stuff, any super important information, anything you need from the admin side will come from me. But other than that, most day-to-day communication, you guys will have hopefully a good relationship with your coach. The athletes will have a good relationship with coach. And we use a messaging app, GroupMe. Coaches can use emails. We have coaches use that, but basically we do not allow coaches to text anything like that, any texting, FaceTime. We don't do that at RVC. So messaging app, we'll probably have one group from the parents, one group for the players. And again, that'll be the main communication they do through the season, and anything big, anything about a tournament, anything about any important changes admin-wise will come from me in my email. Keep an eye out for both of those basically, but just to demonstrate that. Parents are not allowed in the gym, similar to our travel program. Some of the other programs we have, like Junior League, like 4v4, parents are allowed in the gym just to watch and hang out. However, they are not allowed in the gym for travel or VYVL to ensure a fully focused training environment and eliminate any distractions for our athletes. So it's a win-win for everybody involved. You guys are allowed to come in, use the bathroom if you want to get water, but if you guys are using those consistently as excuses, just stay and watch. Again, we understand, but unfortunately, we are not allowed to have parents in the gym. There's a lot of stuff around. There's Starbucks right across the street, Kroger, you can go shopping in. A lot of parents just come drop off, but we certainly understand if that is annoying, but it is a policy we have to follow. Parent attendance, however, for tournaments, absolutely allowed, absolutely encouraged. We hope you get your whole family out there for tournaments, cheering everybody on. We want to pack the gym, get a big event. That's the most fun, I believe, in my opinion, especially for these athletes getting into the travel scene. The more support they see, the more big tournaments, the more explosive plays, the more cheers they can see, I think is a better experience for all coaches, all athletes we have. So encourage encourage attendance for all tournaments, anything you guys have, especially those local. One day we have a cafe, we have lots of stuff available. So we definitely encourage trying to make those one day tournaments. We host a big thing. Get your whole family out, get everybody, get the friends, whoever out. It's a really fun event for these athletes and the parents involved. Yeah, frequently asked questions. How are players chosen? By overall skill, ability, as well as mental attributes? Again, just basically very developmental. If a player has a great attitude, but maybe they're not there skill wise, it's a good, especially if they're younger, it's a good chance they'll make a team or at least have the opportunity to make that team. Um, Basic tryouts, though, these will be against a little different from tryout. Like last year, we did travel combined, so we had to make a lot different kind of selection quality. However, this year will be the VYVL kids in the VYVL gym to just them, so it will just be a basic tryout process for them. 12s and 13s, however, will be basically picked in the order. So the top 12s and 13s team will pick first, and then we will basically get the remaining athletes after that. But it'll just like our normal tryouts for travel, it'll be that aspect as well. However, for the VYVL tryouts, it will be just equal teams. It won't be like, again, like it won't be a 14 blue is the top team, 14 reds the bottom team. We'll basically just split players off evenly, almost like a draft style for the coaches, picking one player and then a setter and then another player to make sure both teams are fairly even across the age groups. Sunday practice is optional. No, we have had this question asked a lot. I mean, they're optional to the aspect that you guys approve if your athlete goes or not, but we encourage athletes to go to everything they can. Their coaches will likely expect them there as well. So I think in the past it may have been optional or just a skills clinic thing. It is absolutely not this year. So it's just a regular old practice. It might not be every single week, but the weeks we do have Sunday practice is almost more important to try and make it to those ones because of very valuable learning and just team bonding, which is half the fun, honestly, of team volleyball and team sports in general. Is if you're not making most of the practices, you're not really being on the team, which is a big thing. And again, if you have to miss, again, we have stuff like this. Absolutely, with like if you want to participate in other sports, have other stuff, just things come up, it's absolutely fine. But in the event you have to miss something, please let them know ahead of time. If you guys are going on a vacation, if you guys have a trip for spring break, this or that, please let the coaches know in advance. In writing would be great if we could get them. That way, coaches can't say you didn't tell them either. Coach to player ratio, again, 16, but skipping back up. I know I kind of skipped a section. Skipping back up, there will be 16 to 18 athletes, like I mentioned, and 2 coaches, splitting off into 2 teams of 8 and 9, 1 coach for each tournament. We really emphasize the play time for this. And even for practices, there'll be a lot of times you do a lot of small group games, which I'm big on. So we'll split these 16 players into 4 teams of 4 or random stuff like that. Getting a lot of players, a lot of touches is, again, the goal in any program I coach. What's the refund policy for injury? This is a thing pretty personal to me. I've had a lot of injuries, had to deal with a lot of stuff like this. So in the event of a season-ending injury, you will be eligible for a refund, either full or partial, depending on the scenario and timing. Again, please email me as soon as something happens, send me any relevant information, and we are more than willing to work with you in this situation. Again, depending on the scenario timing, but for the most part, we're absolutely helpful in the event of an injury. Now, I said open the floor to additional questions. It looks like I added this in on accident. Thank you again for attending. Important dates and next step, register for tryouts and the PTO things I wanted to talk about. So I'll answer the chat questions in just a second. If you guys have any questions, feel free to type in the chat real quick if I did not touch on them already. But again, the next steps, if you guys are interested already, is attend one of those PTOs. And these are the dates listed right here. So these will also be on the website. I believe they're on the VYVL page, but for tryouts, if you'd like to register, you will have to go to rvc.net/tryout. I'm working on getting it added to the VYVL website as well. However, for right now, its home is at the rvc.net/tryouts, which is also on the travel page. But I'm going to try and get basically a button on our page for this link. And again, so attend that PTO. Any one of those days, you guys will be here for maybe a 15, 20, 10-minute span out of this whole time frame. So 1 to 6, you will not be here for 5 hours. It's a very simple thing. And then 10 tryouts, obviously, again, those 12s, 13s are combined, November 8th and 9th. Every other VYVL tryout, November 15th and 16th. So again, like I said, the season starts Sunday, November 30th. So we do not have a lot of time to kind of waste or even fiddle around with the tryouts and stuff after that VYVL trials. Please make sure you guys are looking at the offer emails. If you need an extension, let us know ASAP. Other than that, I will go ahead and exit this out and answer any questions you guys had. Stop sharing my screen. All right. So it looks like one question from Charlie. And like I said, if you guys have any other questions throughout or at all, even afterwards, if you guys rewatch the video and realize you forgot something, I forgot something, feel free to reach out to my email as well. It's bjump, BJUMP @rvc.net. But is VYVL tryout registration the same as travel registration? Yes, it is the exact same. Like I said, just different links and stuff, so it might look like it's just a travel one. However, like I mentioned, they are the same. So if you're kind of between, or maybe you think you might, if your daughter makes a travel team, you might want to play travel, just I would register for travel, attend both tryouts. It definitely helps out in general just to attend both days. Like I said, if you make a team, or even if not, you can kind of help to see the level of volleyball going on and see what's kind of right for you. So it is the same registration. I believe in the tryouts, there should be a section to where you can select whatever levels you're willing to play. So you could say, if you're willing to play the top travel team, you go national, and then all these different levels. And you can also select VYVL. So if you don't make one of those top teams, VYVL will still be an option. So you'll still get the information for tryouts, this and that. So yeah, it is the same, but it's two different tryouts. And I think that is it. That's all the questions I can see. I saw one new pop up, but I'm not seeing it now. So again, thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys learned some from this program. You guys are definitely interested in VIVL. Like I said, if you know anybody else, spread the word. Spread the link if you want. We'll have, like I said, this video posted, and we will do one more information session September 24th. That will be a no, I'm sorry, I looked at the wrong date. September 28th, 12 o'clock. We will do another one of these meetings for BYDL. So if you have a son or know a boy athlete who wants to get involved in the sport, we will have another Zoom meeting that will all be posted to our BYDL website, though. So this is mainly the BYVL one. We'll touch on VYVL a little bit more before we get into the boy stuff. But like I said, this is the main VYVL one, so this one will be posted to the webpage. So email me if you have any questions, bjump@rvc.net. Thank you guys again for being here, and I will let you guys go ahead and get out of here. Bye.